Good Monday evening, everyone, and thank you for joining Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano. Here's a quick look at what's making the latest headlines. Western Mass officials awaiting word from Governor Charlie Baker when it comes to reopening the economy. The city of Chicopee is the latest community to order people to wear face masks when social distancing just isn't possible. And the tourism industry taking a hit in Springfield as the coronavirus pandemic has brought everything to a halt. Local hospital officials delivering good news today in Springfield on the trends they're seeing with COVID-19 cases. Both Mercy Medical Center and Bay State Health reporting lower numbers of positive tests and inpatient cases. But does this mean we can begin reopening our state? Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us live in Springfield with more. Audrey.
That question is on everyone's mind as the governor's May 4th reopening date is now just a week away and no announcements have been made to move it yet. Now, local hospital officials today continue to insist that Western Massachusetts is in a better place than Eastern Mass. Bay State Health CEO Mark Kerouac says it's up to the governor to determine whether Western Mass will reopen sooner than Eastern Mass following coronavirus shutdowns.
Things are much more at their peak in Greater Boston, and I'm sure he'll be influenced by that experience.
Kerouac says the healthcare system needs to have a series of boxes checked rather than a reopening day.
To me, the key issue is not so much the magical date when we all start to open up again, but what are the conditions we need to open up safely? And those would include having enough PPE and having enough extra beds in case a surge does happen, having enough testing.
Governor Charlie Baker has not announced plans to push off the state's May 4th reopening date. However, he's expected to release his reopening guidelines sometime this week. Federal guidelines have dictated there should be a 14-day decline in positive cases and reported symptoms.
Here in Western Mass, we feel we've kind of hit that 14-day run rate, but Eastern Mass has not.
But Kerouac says the most important criteria to look at when it comes to evaluating progress we've made in the pandemic is the hospitalization rate.
The fact that those numbers are going down, to me, is a reliable indicator of overall disease burden. Not to say that it's not still spreading and not to say that we're through the woods, but I think the overall amount of disease burden is declining.
All things considered, Kerouac says reopening should look like a new normal rather than life as we knew it before coronavirus.
I really don't expect a return to normal anytime soon. I suspect that a lot of the things we took for granted back a few months ago are going to be changed by some form of social distancing.
Now, at that press briefing earlier today, Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno says that he's working with his Health and Human Services Commissioner and other cabinet heads to start formulating a Springfield reopening date. He says this, though, while acknowledging that he's still waiting for blanket guidance from the governor. Live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thank you for that live report. Here's a quick look at today's numbers. So far, the number of tests conducted, 224,887. The Department of Health confirming 56,462 cases of COVID-19. That is up 1,524 from yesterday. 3,003 people have died from COVID-19, with 104 new deaths reported today. Both cases and deaths, though, are lower than just a few days ago. And now we're breaking those numbers down for you county by county. Here in Western Mass, Hamden County reporting 3,295 cases. Hampshire County is reporting 427, Franklin 226, and Berkshire County is at 428 cases. In total, Western Mass has 4,376 COVID-19 cases. Now more on how the coronavirus is impacting our communities. Chicopee is requiring everyone to wear face coverings when they're heading out to essential businesses. Western Mass News reporter Sarah Gurnelli checking in with the local health department. She joins us now live in Chicopee with more. Sarah.
Chris, it became mandatory today for people heading into businesses to wear face masks, and this follows two other communities that are also doing the same. Whether it's a mask, a bandana, or a homemade face covering, more and more people are staying protected as they head outside of their homes due to COVID-19. On Monday, the city of Chicopee has made it mandatory for all customers and employees of essential businesses to wear face coverings. The city's health director, Lisa Sanders, explains over the phone why the city decided to make it mandatory.
my commissioners, they were out and about, and they noticed that a lot of people, a lot of the essential workers, they didn't have on masks, neither did the customer. So there was a concern about transmission.
She tells Western Mass News 227 people have tested positive in the city with COVID-19. Those numbers are a reason why, she says, it's important for everyone to stay protected.
This is to protect the essential workers. This is also to protect the customers. When you're in the store, there may be other people around you who are COVID positive. You just don't know.
Businesses are also required to give employees face coverings. Face coverings mandatory in other Western Mass communities. On Sunday, the city of Holyoke began requiring people to wear some sort of mask. And on April 16th, the city of Northampton was the first to make it a requirement. Sanders says Chicopee's COVID-19 task force, which is comprised of 3 police officers, will be keeping a close eye on the community.
We are hoping not to issue any citations. Honestly, we are looking to educate people. So if we find that there's an establishment that's not following the order, we will send out the COVID task force, the police officers, to just talk to them and see what's going on.
And Western Mass News will continue to stay on top of the mandatory face mask wearing in local towns and cities. Live in Chicopee, Sarah Granelli, Western Mass News.
Sarah, thank you for that live report. The tourism industry in the Pioneer Valley has come essentially to a grinding halt because of coronavirus. A collective breath is being held that many local attractions will still get in a summer season. Beth Ward joins us live from home with answers on what the local Convention and Visitors Bureau is doing to get ready for the doors to open here in Western Mass. Beth?
Well, Chris, no mention, as Audrey mentioned earlier, from Governor Baker today on whether or not he will extend that May 4th deadline to stay at home, all those restrictions still in place. However, it is clear that places like restaurants and museums, well, they have a lot to do to prepare. It's not going to be as easy as just flipping a switch.
The pandemic and the mandatory closures of businesses have had a dramatic effect on tourism here in the Pioneer Valley in Western Mass.
Mary Kay Wydra is the president of the Greater Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau. Let's start with what they do.
The Greater Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau is a destination marketing organization, and it's our job to get the word out that Western Mass is a great place to visit.
That includes every destination you can think of, large and small, in Western Mass.
We look at our visitors in 4 different buckets. We have leisure visitors, people on vacation, convention and meeting planners, those bringing big groups of people here, motor coach tour operators bringing busloads, and then sports organizers.
All of which are basically shut down.
In fact, in the past several weeks, we're gauging the lost business, group business, conventions and meetings that we've lost, big events, and we're up to 113 pieces of business it would have generated about $37 million into our local economy. So a big hard hit for tourism.
Wydra tells Western Mass News there is a collective effort to be ready.
We did a call a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, with 12 of our area attractions, everybody from the Hall of Fame to Zor Outdoor were on the call. We had 22 people on this call. And the good news is that they're all focused on what are the steps they need to take. And that could be timed entries into museums. It could be Zor Outdoor, or any of the rafters for that matter, where you maybe had 14 or 15 people in a raft. Maybe now it's only 6.
Banking on a pent-up need to get out and explore. For now, she says, the Bureau is hoping people will explore online, mapping out what they will do when they can.
And then when we're given that all clear signal and we can start having some visitors, we've been working with our local attractions and our hotels, restaurants to make sure the proper protocols are in place so when they do come, we're taking good care of them.
Beth Ward, Western Mass News.
Well, Wydra says that many people are talking about what business will look like once the doors are open. It's going to be a slow process, could be piecemeal and instrumental in making some changes to make sure that people are as safe as possible and feel as safe as possible. Reporting live from home, Beth Ward, Western Mass News.
Beth, thank you for that live report. And new at 6, the Supreme Judicial Court issued an updated order regarding the operation of Massachusetts state courts during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, this new order will be effective on May 4th and will go on until at least June 1st. Under the order, all courts of the Commonwealth will continue to be open to conduct court business, but courthouses will continue to be closed to the general public. In addition, jury trials in both criminal and civil cases in the state courts, they are postponed to a date no earlier than July 1st of this year. And for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it continues to develop, you can always log on to our free Western Mass News streaming app.
Lots of gray clouds on our Springfield Skycam, although we do have a few areas that are a little wetter than others. You see that showing up on our Springfield Skycam. 40, let's see if that banner drops. 40, let's say 2 maybe? 42, yeah, 42 in Springfield, 38 in Blandford and Worthington, and 41 degrees in Orange. So it's been a well below average day. In fact, about 20 degrees below the average for this time of year. The average high for March 6th is 43, which was our high for today. And notice the rain, the heaviest of the rain in Franklin County, just some light showers through Hampshire County, a little bit heavier rain as you go into eastern Hampden County right now. Right along 202 through Shutesbury, New Salem, as you go into Belchertown and Ware, that's where some moderate rain is. And even then, it's not really amounting to all that much. We're on the scale of hundredths of an inch at this point. There's the last gasp of some of this storm. It's pulling out quickly, but we still have some rain yet to go as we go into this evening. So we're talking maybe 3 or 4 more hours before we do get that clearing in some sunshine into your Tuesday. So tonight falling into the middle 30s, the breeze sticks around, still a chilly overnight. Tomorrow, though, I think much more pleasant than what you saw today. Middle 50s, below average, still nicer with a mixture of sun and clouds. Full look at the forecast, Chris, coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Jacob, thank you. And new at 6, the Department of Veterans Affairs announced the appointment of Dwayne Gill as the new director for the VA of Central Western Mass Healthcare System. So in his new role, Gill will be responsible for delivery of health care to approximately 90,000 veterans throughout the 5 counties of Central and Western Mass. Gill is expected to begin within the next 30 to 45 days. Now, still to come here on this Monday, Atlanta is one of the cities starting to reopen its economy. We'll have a live report next. And still ahead, how often are you replacing your face mask? Western Mass News getting answers on the lifespan of masks.